Hey there, good Saturday morning. We appreciate you being here with us as we begin another weekend together. I'm Tylor Brummett. Look, it's like a war zone here. You can see this camper, and if you look up there, you can see the wheels. I want to come over here and just show you a little bit of the devastation. A lot of glass over here, parts of the ceiling, parts of the wall. We come on the air this morning with breaking news out of the Middle East. Late last night, President Donald Trump announced the U.S. carried out at least 3 strikes on Iranian nuclear sites. We have team coverage from across West Michigan with News Channel 3's Carter Landis and Colin Roos. We know trees, homes, businesses, and other buildings were damaged, and we also know the storm was deadly. We are following breaking news this morning. A very busy Sunday morning. At least 2 people are dead, 9 others hurt after a mass shooting at Brown University in Rhode Island. And moments ago, we learned from police that they have a person of interest in custody. Well, developing now, a 28-year-old man arrested after a robbery last weekend. KDPS says it happened last Sunday near Douglas Avenue. Tasman Jefferson is accused of threatening another person with a gun, demanding money, and then running off. Don't have a lot of information right now, but a spokesperson with Kalamazoo Public Safety tells me that there were at least shots fired here. I walked into the courtroom here just behind me not too long ago. There are dozens of reporters from across Michigan and from around the nation here. It felt pretty tense. Not only that, it really felt like the calm before the storm. Former president speaking to the crowd here at Falk Production. Before he took the stage, former presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. talked with the crowd as Trump right now is neck and neck in the polls against Vice President Kamala Harris. Tylor Brummett here in Novi right now as we continue to watch this race. This is where there are supporters for former Congressman Mike Rogers cheering him on. They're hoping that he gets a big win tonight. No doubt the investigation far from over. We know that the suspect has been identified as a 20-year-old man who is now dead. So this part of the investigation, where does it go from here, Sheriff Fuller? And for the governor to get things done, it could be a challenge. Keep in mind, after November's election, there was a major shakeup here in Lansing. Yeah, Democrats, they still control the state Senate, but Republicans, they have the majority in the House of Representatives. Even though the scene is clear now, there are still signs of what happened here hours earlier. Look right across the street here. You can see the grass is torn up from where this crash happened. And even on both sides of the road, there are still parts from both the buggy and the car littering the area. Told this area used to be clear, no corn in sight, and Burton's body was actually found a few hundred feet back that way by a group of hunters. Just get too hot, too sweaty. Yeah. I'd rather stay inside, but I will say I like going on a walk every now and again on the Calhaven Trail with the trees and the leaves and all the shade.
Get some shade.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
Look at them. They're coming by right now. And I'm sure you could hear them as well. Again, the crowd here, they are just so excited as the Thunderbirds are performing.
He was a great person. The damage is done to our family. I'm not opposed to justice, but at this point, it's really too late.
It was a summer night in June of 1983. 16-year-old Eric Cross went to a house party where the drinks were flowing and dozens of teenagers were celebrating Vicksburg High School's class of '83.
Naturally, word spread like wildfire and a whole lot of kids showed up, anywhere between 70 to 90 kids.
Former Kalamazoo County Undersheriff Paul Matches tells me later that night, Eric was on his way home. That's when a group tied him to a car with a rope, dragging him down a road. Matches says the suspects ran Eric over several times, trying to make it look like a hit and run. In the morning, Eric's dad found his son dead at the end of the family's driveway.
He was just like a very fun-loving, carefree person.
Eric's sister Jackie hasn't forgotten her brother all these years later.
I just like it because he looks really happy, and that's my dad fixing his tie.
She says it's been hard on their whole family that no one has been arrested for Eric's murder.
I want that for the sake of my mother, especially, because she has been so mistreated by this justice system.
And even more than 4 decades later, you can tell this community is still looking for closure. Former Undersheriff Matches tells me he believes the pieces to this puzzle have already been put together, but he says justice still has not been served.
They're just snubbing their nose saying, yeah, well, I guess I got away with it.
So you feel, based off of everything in these files, not only is there enough for these folks to be arrested, but also a conviction?
Yes. Yes, I do. Prosecutors probably would disagree with me.
For many years, there was very little movement in the Eric Cross case. But about a decade ago, some actually thought there was a pretty big break.
And they had the killer in jail for another reason at that time.
So what Jackie Mitchell is referring to there is that in 2015, a man named Brent Spalding was released from jail in a different case.
You know, I just couldn't believe it. I said, gosh, he's going to get out.
All right, so back then, the Kalamazoo County Sheriff's Office called Spalding a prime suspect. In fact, our cameras were rolling when he got out.
Every time that they wanted any questioning, I've always came in and answered all their questions, and I'm sick of it. It's just a big harassment. It's a big witch hunt.
Fast forward then to 2017, the Sheriff's Office recommended charges against Spalding and 4 others. But Kalamazoo County Prosecuting Attorney Jeff Getting decided not to pursue the case.
We have to have sufficient, legally admissible, credible evidence to be able to convince a jury beyond a reasonable doubt.
Getting points to how 2 former county prosecutors and the Attorney General's office also decided not to file charges. He also says filing charges could violate ethics rules and laws.
It's not that it can't be done. It's not that it can't happen, but we're not at that place.
Do you think ultimately you could get to that place?
I don't know. You know, cold cases get solved. Whether that would be in 6 months, a year, or whether it's the next prosecuting attorney that sits in this seat or the next attorney general that sits in that seat in Lansing, who knows?
And as the years go by, the hope for justice from Eric's army only grows. What would your message be to the people who were potentially responsible for this?
You're sad human beings. If you are human, I think you've given up because you've buried this for so long and refused to take accountability.
We're just not going to go away.
In Vicksburg,
If we have to follow these people to the gates of hell, we'll do that.
Tylor Brummett, News Channel 3.
And Tylor Brummett is live outside the big house. Tylor, you've been working all day to get some answers on Michigan's investigation and Moore's arrest.
Yeah, Jess, Andy, good evening to both of you. Of course, it has been a wild day here in Ann Arbor. We do know that Moore is still in the Washtenaw County Jail. He has not been officially charged, at least not yet. The prosecutor's office says that could happen tomorrow. And tonight, the university is staying tight-lipped about the investigation that led them to fire the now former head coach. Former University of Michigan head football coach Sharon Moore spending his Thursday locked up. His arrest happening after the university fired him. In a statement, the Michigan athletic director says credible evidence was found that Coach Moore engaged in an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. The Washtenaw County Sheriff's Office confirming Moore was in custody Wednesday. In a post on social media, Pittsfield Township Police and Fire says they were called to an assault on Ann Arbor-Saline Road that night. The department mentioning they've received several media requests for information. Thursday, I reached out to the university's athletic department. I wanted to know when they began the investigation that led to Moore's firing. I also wanted an on-camera interview. I received a statement saying we are unable to comment further on the personnel matter, and we will not be having anyone available to conduct interviews about the decision. I submitted a request to Pittsfield Township Police for body cam video, dash cam video, and the police report. I also sent a public records request to the University of Michigan asking for any documents related to their investigation into Moore and any text messages sent from university-issued cell phones. Moore spent 2 years as head coach, taking over for Jim Harbaugh in 2024. He previously had other coaching roles within the program dating back to 2018. Now, the university has 8 members of its Board of Regents. I reached out to each and every one of them today, but I did not hear back. For now, we're live in Ann Arbor. Tylor Brummett, News Channel 3. Tense exchange began when trustee Zach Ford interrupted a woman who has concerns about proposed development in the area. And tonight, Ford says he's ashamed of the way he acted.
We just bought there 4 years ago.
You don't own the property on the other side of the line.
We're not
Get out
saying
of here with this
we're not
crazy
saying that we do.
selfishness.
Put yourself in our
This is embarrassing.
shoes.
You're embarrassing yourself right now.
I am not embarrassing
Ford,
anybody.
that is out of order.
Chaos erupting as Oshtemo Township trustee Zach Ford goes back and forth with people speaking during Tuesday night's meeting.
Mr. Ford, you are out of order.
We're going to have to turn the microphones off if we can't get this meeting under order.
Things continuing to go off the rails for several minutes as some board members try to restore order.
You know, that's also not supposed to be slanderous, and we're talking about
Excuse me! Excuse me! No! Please stop! Ma'am! Please stop!
Moments later, Ford was told to leave the meeting.
Mr. Ford, you are ejected from the meeting, Mr. Ford.
And less than 24 hours later, Ford says his outburst stemmed from frustration of hearing the same complaints over and over again. But he tells me he wishes he would have reacted differently.
My role as a trustee is important, and I need to be able to make sure that citizens feel heard. And so to the folks that came yesterday, I just wanted to say that I'm sorry that 5 minutes does not define who I am as a person, and I'm committed to doing better going forward.
At the center of Tuesday's argument is a proposed mixed-use development in the area of West Main Street. Ford says the project would bring new businesses and more apartments to the area.
So this is where they want the road.
But Bridget Frame lives nearby and has some concerns. She tells me two of the people Ford lashed out at are members of her family. How does that make you feel seeing that interaction play out?
Again, disheartened, shocked that someone would behave in that manner after watching the meeting. None of my family members were out of line. They were calm, respectful, again, asking for compromise.
As for Ford, he says he's open to hearing more feedback from neighbors.
This isn't a done deal yet. There's still opportunity for change. And I would say, please keep coming to these meetings where we hear you and we will work with you.
Now, people who are concerned about this project are planning to gather for a meeting Sunday afternoon on Jane Ann's Way. So what exactly are they worried about? We'll break it all down for you tonight on the news at 6.
Tonight, News Channel 3's Tylor Brummett is joining us in studio to show us what was captured on camera during this arrest. Tylor.
Yeah, Andy, we received that video today after filing a Freedom of Information request. The video was taken by two deputies who had body cameras. Now, in the video, you'll see these tense moments involving some witnesses. Now, I should point out we've blurred their faces, but you do see Michael Dyer and some of the interactions he had with deputies on scene.
Oh, it's him right there. He hit my cousin.
Hey, look, calm down,
Dude.
man. Bro, that's
Where do you live?
They picking her up.
Hang on. No. No. Hey, put her down.
This body cam video shows what a Kalamazoo County deputy encountered when he arrived on the scene of a crash on H Avenue just after midnight, June 22nd.
Everyone, get in the car. Everyone, back up. Back up now. Back up. She's okay. She's okay.
No, like all of me. They started trying to follow me.
Let me get in the car.
Just minutes later, the deputy is asked to talk with the suspect, Comstock Township Deputy Fire Chief Michael Dyer.
How are you?
Not good.
Okay. You're driving?
Yep.
Okay. What's going on tonight? All the kids in the road?
All the kids in the road, and I hit somebody.
Okay.
I've been drinking.
Okay.
I just came from the bar.
The deputy mentions they received a call earlier about someone swerving on East Michigan Avenue. At first, Dyer tells the deputy he cannot remember where he came from. The police report says in a later interview, Dyer said he was coming from a nearby restaurant. Dyer is also asked about what he drank.
You said you've been drinking?
Yes.
At dinner. How many drinks would you say?
3.
3. Or what kind of drinks?
Gin and tonics.
Gin and tonics. Doubles? Single?
Oh.
Okay.
While that was happening, another deputy spoke with witnesses. Some of them say they were at a nearby gathering on Comstock Township Lane.
The kiddos, you guys knew they were like outside, just hanging out.
We all was outside. We sitting there watching. They all was right there. Somehow they disappeared and came. I don't know.
So the parents, you guys were all. I smelled some barbecuing earlier. Were you guys barbecuing outside or something, or grilling or something?
We just chilling, talking, you know.
As for Dyer,
just your eyes. Don't move your head.
He's given a series of field sobriety tests.
Okay, sir.
Then he's asked to blow into a breathalyzer.
Keep going. All right, good.
The police report says Dyer blew a .155 on a breathalyzer, which is nearly 2 times the legal limit.
Place your hands behind your back.
The deputy later handcuffs and places Dyer in a squad car.
You are under arrest for the offense of operating a vehicle while intoxicated due to the consumption of alcohol and controlled substance or other intoxicant substance or in combination.
All right, so you'll remember last night we showed you pictures of damage to Dyer's truck. In the video we received today, you can hear Dyer mention some of that damage is from a separate crash last year. But another deputy can be heard saying some of the damage happened on the night of this June crash. Comstock Fire Chief Matt Beauchamp says Dyer remains on administrative leave. We should point out he has not been formally charged, but we're told the prosecutor's office is reviewing the case. Live tonight in studio, Tylor Brummett, News Channel 3. The clock is ticking as Michigan lawmakers are running out of time to agree on a budget this morning. What could happen if they don't pass a funding plan and how this could impact you? Plus, more money for more affordable housing in Kalamazoo County, where some families could soon find a cheaper place to live. And the home of a city commissioner pierced by bullets. What we're finding out from police this morning. Today is Saturday, August 23rd, 2025.
Covering West Michigan to protect and alert you. This is News Channel 3, live at 7.
Well, hey there, good Saturday morning. We appreciate you being here with us as we begin another weekend together. I'm Tylor Brummett. Look, this week, it's been pretty nice out there. We've had a few days where it has felt like fall. That's briefly expected to change, though, before it cools off yet again. Meteorologist Colin Rogers timing it all out. Colin, I was hoping for more fall-like weather, and that will be the case. We just got to be patient, but this morning it feels pretty nice as people head out.
Yeah, I'll have a look at those temperatures coming up for you in just a few.
All right, Colin, thank you so much. We are covering the state capitol. Lawmakers have just a little over a month to agree on a new budget. They have to do so by October 1st after they failed to meet a July 1st deadline. If they don't have a new budget by then, they'll risk a complete state government shutdown. That has not happened in Michigan in nearly 20 years. Western Michigan University political science professor John Clark says any organization relying on state funding could be at risk. Clark says that's especially true when it comes to education as schools head into a new school year without knowing what funding the state will provide. The uncertainty is also impacting organizations like the Kalamazoo Nonprofit Advocacy Coalition as they gear up for a massive $10 million construction project.
Government shutdowns are a problem, right? We've seen them periodically at the national level. We rarely see them at the state level, in part because the stakes are so high.
We're currently in a condition where we don't know if we're going to get that funding or when we might get that funding, how much. So it's really putting us in a bind.
Some lawmakers tell News Channel 3 they're confident a deal will be reached. And as this happens, many school districts are keeping an eye on these negotiations. In fact, some of them are bracing for the possibility of not being able to provide free meals for children. Students at Paw Paw Public Schools are set to return to the classroom next week. And yesterday, families received a letter from district leaders saying all students will keep getting free school lunches until at least September 30th. The letter also encourages everyone to complete an application to determine who's financially eligible for free meals. Both Republicans and Democrats say they're hopeful free school lunches will be included in the new budget.
Not heard only from families from my district, but families from around the state about just how important free universal school meals are. This isn't just from families who are food insecure. This is from families who are from middle class America who will tell you they have multiple children in the house.
I would encourage them to look at this guidance from the Michigan Department of Education, which clearly says the state house budget funds school breakfast and lunch.
So we reached out to several West Michigan districts. Some say they're confident they can make it work without state money. Others are planning to use federal funding. This morning, we're learning more money is going towards affordable housing in West Michigan. Kalamazoo County Commissioners just approved using $725,000 through the Homes for All millage. The money will be given to several housing organizations in the area. For example, $450,000 will go to Resident Opportunities Incorporated. This will help provide repairs to 16 homes in Kalamazoo and 32 in Portage.
When you have such a huge shortage of housing units in general, those that are most impacted are typically the people at the lower income brackets because they have less money to go around in the first place. And so having this housing millage has really been able to help us provide stopgap measures for those households.
The county has now committed nearly $3 million just this year in millage funding to expand affordable housing and supportive services. You can learn more about where this money is going on our website. Just head to WWMT.com. Continuing coverage this morning on the Traverse City Walmart stabbing. A judge ruled the suspect, Bradford Gilley, is not competent to stand trial. Gilley is accused of stabbing 11 people July 26th. He faces a terrorism charge and 11 counts of assault with intent to murder. The ruling means Gilley will stay at a forensic center to try to regain his competency to eventually stand trial. A doctor testified saying Gilley was diagnosed with schizophrenia. Since the stabbing, all 11 victims have been released from the hospital. A former Granville orthodontist accused of child pornography and exploitation crimes is officially heading to trial after waiving his preliminary hearing yesterday. 43-year-old Thomas Shannon appeared in federal court. The judge ruled he'll stay at the Newaygo County Jail while his defense attorney decides whether to move forward with a detention hearing. This could essentially determine whether he can be released on bail. The criminal complaint says a North Carolina therapist reported a 16-year-old was sexually exploited by Shannon on Snapchat. Court documents also claim Shannon was communicating with a 13-year-old from Maryland while out on bond. Federal prosecutors say Shannon also hired a private examiner to prove he did not have any child pornography, but they say that actually backfired after the examiner found a large amount of it and turned it over to authorities. We're learning more this morning after a Kalamazoo City Commissioner says someone fired gunshots into her home. Stephanie Hoffman says she woke up in the middle of the night last week finding bullet holes in her garage, above her front door, and in her bedroom. Kalamazoo Public Safety telling us the shots did not end at her home. A man later showed up at the hospital after being shot in this incident. Police say Hoffman was not the intended target. The commissioner saying during a recent meeting she worked hard to fight gun violence in the past, but this most recent event has put the issue in a different light for her.
The sheer utter fear that this has given me is something I don't wish on anybody.
As far as tackling gun violence, there are many programs in Kalamazoo. Several churches have a gun amnesty program where weapons can be turned in without question. New details this morning on a shooting at a Detroit hospital yesterday. Police say a 40-year-old woman who worked at that hospital was shot and killed by her ex-husband. And this morning, police are still looking for that suspect. Investigators telling us 53-year-old Mario Green got into a fight with his ex-wife before shooting her. You just saw him there on your screen. He's described as a 6'4" man with a medium build and was driving a 2011 Dodge Charger. He was also last seen wearing a black shirt, black pants, and a gold chain.
We expect to have him in custody very, very shortly, but we're asking for the community's help.
It's unclear if there were any witnesses. It's also unknown how the suspect made it into the hospital's basement. A man is dead after a motorcycle crash north of Battle Creek. It happened on M37 in Bedford Township. Investigators say when they got there, they found the victim's motorcycle on fire. The 64-year-old man died at the scene. Officers say no one else was involved, and they think speed and alcohol were both factors in that crash. A Battle Creek man pleading guilty, accused of dealing fentanyl. U.S. Attorney Timothy Verhey says 29-year-old Nazarene Carmuche Heath tried to sell more than 4,700 blue pills designed to look like oxycodone, but the pills actually had fentanyl. He's also accused of having more than 600 grams of powdered fentanyl and 2 guns. He's set to be sentenced in October and faces a mandatory minimum sentence of 10 years, but he could be sentenced to life in prison.